Welcome back to the second episode of our summer sessions of Beyond the Bell. We have special guest, Director of Transportation, Jason Ayers, here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, as you've already said, I'm Jason Ayers, Director of Transportation for Barrow County Schools. I've been here 5 years, just had a wonderful experience so far, a lot of changes and a lot of growth, so I'm sure we'll get into the grains of that here shortly.
Absolutely. So where did you come from? You said you got here 5 years ago.
Yes.
What was your job before?
Well, I was a transportation director in Franklin County, where I was there for 16 years. So 20-year veteran at this point with the transportation industry.
Wow. And we also talked before we got started. You were, tell me about your position with the Director of Transportations, and you guys went to Jekyll.
Yes. We GAPT conference. This is Georgia Association of Pupil Transportation. We're part of that. That's all the school districts, or majority of the school districts in the state of Georgia come down there for professional development and just networking and things like that. Keeps us on the cutting edge with the Department of Education, Federal Motor Carrier, all those folks that we're attached to that a lot of people don't know about. They just see a bus, showing up and going. That's all they think about. But we are connected with everything, just due to safety and all the guidelines we have to follow.
That's cool. And it's really cool that you get to connect with the surrounding counties with people in the same position as you.
Right. Well, the regional stuff is exactly that. I mean, you learn so much. Every one of us are kind of the same, and, basically we all run buses, but then there are the nuances with the different cultures, the different structure, like Barrow County and Jackson County, very fast growing. Well, some of the other counties don't grow at all. So there's all these nuances that we all get to share with each other. And it's a good experience, just, a lot of idea sharing and stuff.
That's awesome. Well, with your experience and your expertise, I bet this is going to be a great episode with the information that you have to give us.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully we can just get into some of the insights and nuances and hopefully leave some good nuggets for thought that folks don't realize about transportation.
Absolutely. So we're heading back into the fall semester of this brand new school year. We have a lot of great, amazing things for our students. Let's let some of the parents know about some of the stuff we have going for transportation. So what do you think are some of the key takeaways for parents to know?
Well, I would say at this point, we've still got a little bit of time before open houses and things like that. I would encourage parents, just the biggest thing is to get the information as early as you can. We've got the links on the website and things like that. Right now we're still tweaking routes and doing things from the previous school year. So a lot of planning goes on during the summer. You get the stigma that people think that you work in the school system, you're off during the summer. Well, not us. There's a lot of changes and modifications we have to do, technology, all the updates that we run into from year to year. But just be proactive. At the end of the day, be proactive. Monitor the school websites and all the stuff. Our district does really good at getting stuff on the media. Just monitor it. It's out there. There's a ton of information, and it's out there for you to take advantage of and be proactive. That would be my biggest thing. Just get out there early as you can. Or give us a call if you've got any questions as well.
Okay. So is there any specific forms that parents should have for open house?
No, we're trying to do everything just more of electronic because we have so many digital assets. The links we use and stuff like that. Now, as far as what they're giving at schools, I can't speak much to. As far as transportation, we try to be as paperless as we possibly can. We try to do everything that they can pull up, like on their smartphone. Everybody's in the technology age. If you got a smartphone, hey, it's right there in your hand. That's our goal, is to have that as updated and as useful as possible for them.
Okay, and they can find this on the transportation website.
Yeah, just go to the school website. You can go to the transportation page or just the general school website, and the stuff directs you from there and stuff. And we're looking at some things we can try to help it, move a little quicker in that. I don't know. We're still working on some of the pieces of it to make it a little bit more user friendly, so it's just more convenient for them.
Okay. What are some of the most common questions that you get asked about transportation when parents are going back to school?
What time's my bus going to be there? Where's the pickup location? You have to have such a blended model. Sometimes it can be confusing because we have changes up till the last day. I mean, things are constantly moving. It never sits still. We can have we can have all of our route information up to date right now. Perfectly. Well, you have a couple of hundred enrollments through the month of July. Well, guess what? We're tweaking routes, and one stop location added to a route can change the entire route, maybe not at all, and maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So that's the biggest thing, is what time is the bus going to show up. You just have to monitor that info, and we usually have that link live about 2 weeks before, or about the middle of July, something like that. We always try to get that information in their hands as soon as we can, but that's why we're reluctant to put it out there now, because that information changes so fast. So we'll try to wait till almost the last minute, and it's not popular opinion on that, but we try to wait as late as we can so we've got most of the changes already made so it's accurate information for them. So.
Yeah, I get that now
Yeah.
that you say. There's a lot of thought that goes into it.
There is a huge amount of thought, and it's just moving all the time, and it's hard to keep up with because just when we've got it all done, boom, we get something else added to it, and you have to change it. So encouraging them just to monitor the information that they have in front of them, on the websites and stuff. Just stay current. What happens a lot of times is they'll go get their information, say middle of July, we've opened the link up or the information's there, they get it. Well, they don't check it again. Well, come the first day of school or something, we could have made a change on that route, and it's missed it. They've missed the bus by 10 or 15 minutes. There's all these little things that nobody thinks about, and that's one of them. So.
Absolutely. So, fun little different question. What about when a student leaves an item on the bus?
Well, that one right there, we get that a lot, especially a phone, because everybody's when they don't have their phone. Oh my gosh, the world's going to end without my phone. They'll call the department. The drivers always check their bus before and after the route. Now, we run. If you're running a couple of routes, they may not see a phone. It may be on the floor or something like that. So there's a couple of things there that could cause a variable in it even being on there. And sometimes they think they left them on there and they didn't. They found it was in their bag. But when they do, a lot of times they'll just call the department, or a driver will find it and they'll radio in. Hey, I found a bus. I found a phone on the bus. They'll radio in, and usually the parent will call, or the kid, student will borrow a phone from another child. Hey, I left my phone on the bus. We have it. You can come by and pick it up. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Or the driver will hold on to it, but we know they really want it that day or as quick as they can get it. And sometimes we'll just kind of route the bus to where the parent can intercept the bus and meet them somewhere on an agreed location and get it that way. There's just numerous ways we can resolve that.
Good to know. So a little bit of an overview of the transportation department. How many buses are there?
Well, in the fleet is a total of spare buses and everything, because we do have breakdowns from time to time and we have to run trips, and coaches use buses. We've got 200 in our fleet. We're around 180, 185 routes, and that just, that can change by a few routes depending on what's going on as people move, or we move around, move the routes and adjust for different things that's going on, population growth and stuff. On top of that, we run around 20,000 miles a day. It's a lot when you start thinking about it. As far as the number of stops, you're talking about 11,000. That's 11,000 stops. Now, that's morning and afternoon together. You about 5,000 to 6,000 in a morning, or 5,000 to 6,000 in an evening. And people don't think about that. There's a lot that happens every day that our people do flawlessly and things. But it's a lot. It's a huge amount. The mileage we do every year and the amount of fuel and all that kind of stuff. It can be staggering if you're not used to those numbers and everything.
Okay. How many students do we have that ride the buses daily?
We're around 11,000. I think our enrollment's a little over 15,000. In any school district, you're really going to run 85%, 87% in ridership. So you'll always have that group that, car riders and things like that. And when they get in high school, a lot of them's riding with their friends or driving cars, things like that. So that pulls the numbers down, even further. But around 11,000.
Okay.
I tell you, as far as what we're offering or what's available to a parent to help them out, Here Comes the Bus is a big thing. We've had to do it. We've done some work with the technology side. Our IT folks, our data system folks have really worked really hard to get the information updated in the systems. The systems now are really updating and really tied together really well. We would encourage parents. We was talking about what can parents do. That Here Comes the Bus is a big deal. That way the parents know when the bus is going to show up, all that kind of thing. That thing is so helpful. Encouraging that. Get signed up, get that app. It's really easy to do. The instructions are on the website. That's a huge tool for them and us, and we can also send out messaging. That's the other thing that transportation, struggles with. I don't care what county you're from. Remind is a big thing in the schools. Well, transportation, it's hard for us to use that because the way you have to build the list and change the list, and if we have to divide a route in an afternoon because of a vacancy or an absence or something like that, you can adjust it in the system, and it automatically takes care of it. When you send out a message, it goes to those parents that it pertains to, and that way you don't have to worry about maintaining the list. It kind of does it automatically. So those things are a big deal. Really nice to have have that available for parents.
Okay. So on the Here Comes the Bus app, What exactly, are they able to monitor where the bus is at all time? Explain that to the
Well,
parents.
now I'll tell you, you get into that, you get into the safety aspects. You don't allow, they call it bus tracking, but you've got to be careful on the language that you use. Parents can't track a bus during the whole route. There's a lot of parameters and things we can set on our end. It's basically going to let them know when the bus is, they have a geo fence, and the parent sets that up if they want to know when the bus is, say, a minute from their location. Well, it's cold, it's raining, well, I'm in the house. Well, the bus is a minute out. Well, we know, it's coming by. That kind of thing. It's more of an early notification or proactive thing. But they cannot. You can expand the times that they can see it. We limit that down. We don't want anybody being able to take that and track a bus where it's going. We just don't, for safety reasons and all the other things that we would prefer not to share. It's just information. So we're real careful how we put that out there.
Okay. Here's another common question. What age does a student have to be before they could get off the bus without a legal guardian or a parent being outside waiting for the bus?
Well, on the guideline we use is the state puts out, and if they're under 9, there needs to be a parent out there. And even at that, we've got to consider the age, other than the age, the maturity level of the child. Obviously, children mature at different paces and different things like that. So, child under 9, you need to be at home, and that comes with challenges of itself, especially when we make community stops and things like that. So we try to have communication out there to where most community stops, there'll be parents that'll rotate and they'll all monitor this location or things. Or parents will be out there in their cars and pick. So drivers have to really be on top of their game when they're doing things like that. But 9 years old is the kind of the tipping point that we look at, and that's the recommendation from the state.
Okay.
Some of the events we had going on, we've done some not open houses, I'm sorry. We've done some onboarding events or some, doing some like job fairs out in the parking lots in different locations. That's worked out really well. One thing we done this summer was real exciting was we did a Touch the Bus campaign with some of our daycares, and that's where some of our group went out to the daycares, and the children that were going to start riding the bus, our trainers and some of our drivers were out there talking to the children, telling them what to do, what not to do, how to pay attention to this, and different procedures. So that was very exciting. This was the first year we did that, and that was a very big deal. Everybody was really pleased that we were able to do that, and that helps and that connects us with our communities, daycares, and that's something we can just develop those partnerships going forward, and it gets more information in everybody's hands, and that broad understanding we want everybody to have when you was talking about, the parent with a child riding the bus for the first time. Those kind of things are so comforting to a parent that they've got an awareness level they didn't have before that first day or something like that. So it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. So with the students that were getting to touch the bus for the first time, did they get to sit in the seats and kind of get comfortable with it?
Yes, absolutely. We got them on the bus. They got them on the bus. Look, here's how you're supposed to sit. Hands in front of your seat. All in there. They were going through those. The other thing, the kids get on there and you look at a bus and the steering wheel in the driver's compartment, a lot of switches make you think of a jet. There's just buttons everywhere, and it looks really intimidating, but it's cool to the kids. They see that, and buses are just full of lights. We have 9 interior cameras and things like that. So the drivers and the trainers were out there just showing the kids, expressing it, answering questions to some of the staff that they didn't know. There's always questions. There are things about buses they don't know, and that was a perfect opportunity to be able to express that. But the children loved it. I mean, it was just a big deal. Plus, it also lets them know that the bus is a friendly thing, but it's also something you got to do it a certain way, So getting them, introduced to it that way was just we were excited about it. It was a real good thing.
Do you think next summer we'll have these opportunities for?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This was just the starting of that, and that'll grow, that'll expand, and anything we can do, any partnership, anywhere we can put our bus. Your fire departments are out there, emergency. We're no different. We're that thing that it's an invisible giant. People see you running around, but they don't think about it. Well, that's our goal this year, is to really get ourselves out there in a more transparent way and just where people see us and understand more about what we do and everything. So it just makes us approachable too. We're not unapproachable. We want to be friendly and we want to serve our communities and build trust and relationships with that. So. Okay. We'll be at the school open houses like we always are, but we're trying to get as much information out there as quick as we can, and it goes really fast. Once it starts coming out and we get everything opened up where parents can get their route information, that would be it. I would stand back on being proactive and getting that information, because open houses, first few days of school and all that, a lot of challenges. It's just a lot of activity goes on, and the more things that we can have in their hands before that day, the less problems we have on those first few days, because we would love to just pull up to a school like we've been doing, for 6 months and leave. But you have all those things. It seems like confusion and children just going here to there, left to right, and all that, because kids don't know, especially if they're going from elementary to the next school level or middle school. It's all new. It's different buses sometimes. It's different drivers, and they're not sure. So it's a lot coming at them, so we try to make it as easy for them as we can. But just everybody being proactive together and getting it done, that makes it a lot better.
Keep an eye on the website. Keep an eye on social media.
Right. Look, our media folks, it's just out there. Make sure you monitor that and look at the emails and stuff. We communicate it. The district does, and we're part of that. And just pay attention to it. And just be out there on it. It's hard to show up the day of, and everything get right, because it puts us into panic. We're going to make it work, but it can stall us and trip us up a little bit if it's a last minute thing, and we have a lot of that. So,
are these electronic forms available on the website right now? So if they want to go ahead and fill them out, or?
Well, it's not necessarily a form. They just go in there and it just gives them their information. Okay. Then they can screenshot it. It's like if you've got it on your phone, you can see that info and just screenshot it and you've got it right there. Okay. That's the biggest thing. We don't do anything so much with a form. There are a few things, but they fill it out. Nothing really printed or anything in their hands, so to speak. Okay. On that's more on the school side. We just try to keep it. So here's the AM time, here's the PM time, and leave it at that.
So the school will give out certain forms, and that's whenever they could give it back to their parents and then the school, not the bus driver?
No, there's nothing that they have to give to the driver, or nothing like that, like a bus pass or anything. There are a few things we're looking at right now and trying to see what's going to work best, especially for the smaller children, elementary age and things like that. We're looking at a few things right now, but there's still some information that has to be kind of tied together with import stuff, things like that on the technology side. So we're working through that right now to see if that's going to work out. But as it is, it's just as simple as them having that in their hands. So
it's simple.
Yep, we try to keep it as simple, because we do know this. Parents get overwhelmed with all the information. You can have so much information. You got 2 or 3 children in the school system. Mm-hmm. You got this packet, that. We just want you to know what time we're going to get them, what time we're going to drop them off, and who's going to be there. You know, so the less we can do, to add to that, that's what we want to. That's our goal.
I know that's appreciated.
Oh yeah. We a lot of great folks. We've got great community partners and things. The district, everybody's just working so well together with everything we're doing. Everybody's on the same mission right now. Let's just get started. Let's make it as smooth a start as we can. So,
well, I think we're in for a great school year.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're actually some of the discussions and things we're having right now, and we're just getting to the end of June. It's like crazy good, and we're excited about it, but we're careful too, because we still got several weeks to go, so a lot can happen over a few weeks, staffing wise and all that. Even though right now we feel pretty good, but you just don't know. We still got several weeks to go, but yeah, we're very excited about the upcoming school year.
I've always had this question: why don't buses have seatbelts? Well,
buses are basically built on compartmentalization. If you look at the seats in a bus, they're built certain distance apart. The seat, they have very thick foam in them, and that's an impact zone. So that's why you don't see, a lot of times you won't see a seatbelt on the bus. It's for that simple reason. The biggest thing on that is the children staying inside the confines of the seat and being seated properly. So you run into that part, and that can be challenging depending on the age of the child, because they're energized at the end of the day. But that's the main thing right there. The other thing you would have to look at if you added seatbelts would be the overall capacity ability of the bus. It could really challenge you on that part, with that, because seatbelts do take up space. Now, one thing you have to think about, the older buses did not come with what they do now. They design the seat frames with what they call belt-ready seats. Older buses, I think it's before 2010, something like that, those don't have the proper seat frames to even attach a seat belt to it. So if you did, you'd have to change out all the seats, all the frames and all that. You're talking, $20,000, $30,000 a bus. So there's all these things that start expanding when you get into that part. So,
really?
But in simplest form, compartmentalization, the seat foams, that's where the children are, and they stay within that. So it's pretty safe,
Design for safety.
The buses are tanks. They can take a lick and keep on ticking. So kids are safe in the impact zone. The children are setting up high. If you look at a bus, most cars, they'll go under. They're lower than the seating zone of the bus. So everything about a bus is based on that. So a lot of safety thought goes into the design and things like that.
That's what I've noticed. A lot of thought goes into transportation in general.
Yes. There's more to it than people realize. So
absolutely. So another quick question that I had was, what are some tips for parents of children riding the bus for the first time?
I would say this, and this would go on even from the first time, because the smaller children, kindergarten, first grade, it's new. It's a big experience. It's a lot of energy. It's a crazy environment. There's a lot of energy at the end of the day. I would tell parents, I would encourage them, just teach your children to sit in their seat and stay in their seat. That's the main thing. That keeps them safe no matter what. Teaching that child to stay. And we don't mind going to the schools, or if parents want to come by, if we work with them any way we can, we would be glad to have riding camps. We talked about Touch the Bus a little earlier, but we would love to do riding camps, things like that. Anything to help the parents help us get the child on there and have safe transportation and staying in that seat properly. It just keeps it orderly, but that would be my tip to the parent. Encourage your child to stay in their seat, because it's not their car. It's not riding in mama's minivan where I've got a seat belt on and all this, or a harness or something like that. They're in there, and it's a lot of activity. They're around other children, and drivers driving with their eyes pointing, forward, not backwards. So a lot of opportunity for children, for their energy to get away from them on it and stuff. So just proper seating.
I know me and you talked about riding buddies. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's a good thing that we do, and that's pretty common everywhere you go. When we have children, kindergarten children, drivers will often put an older child with them to just kind of make them comfortable, make them like a riding buddy. And sometimes we'll let the child, the older, like if it's a 4th or 5th grade student, they can talk to them, just be develop a friendship with them and things like that. And they'll remind them before they get off the bus, make sure you wait for the driver's hand signals and little things like that. Sometimes a child will listen to another child easier than they will the adult. I mean, sometimes it's just that way. So we try a blended approach, on that. But the riding buddy and having somebody to make them feel comfortable if they don't have a sibling on there with them, that is a big deal. And it helps so much in so many ways.
How sweet. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good thing.
What steps should a parent take if their child isn't going to need to ride the bus on a specific day?
If they have alternate locations, we limit that. We try not. It's hard for us to do it more than they'll call and have an alternate drop-off location. Could be grandma's house or the neighbor, whatever, based on their work schedule. They need to contact us so we can work that out with the driver, because we've got to evaluate every stop location. If they offer one up, it may be on a different route. Could be somewhere we can't drop off at the driveway. Could be anything. That's why they need to contact us, because there could be a really hands-on approach to need to make that work if it's possible, and we may have to discuss some of that with them.
Okay, so they need to contact the transportation department. Will you guys contact the school afterwards and let them know about the changes?
Yes, absolutely. What they do, we get that, and if they have to be on another bus, yes, the school knows that, because the teacher at the end of the day needs to know which bus to send them to and things when that's necessary. Sometimes it's the same bus, and the driver's the only one that's involved in that, and they just know the child's going to a different location. So depending on what communication is needed, we put it out there that way.
That's great. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of bus stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. That's just the tip of the iceberg, though. So, but anyway, maybe for another day, that would be a good thing. Yeah,
I've really enjoyed this conversation.
I have. It's been great. I love it. We love to share information, and we want people to know everything about us, and stuff. So, anytime they got any questions, they're welcome to ask them.
All right. Well, you guys reach out to Jason Ayers or the transportation department if you guys have questions, and we're just ready to get you guys back in the classroom and back to school.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, you guys, make sure you stay tuned next week for episode 3 of the summer sessions of Beyond the Bell. And remember, the learning journey never ends. It continues beyond the bell.